It's time for chocolate stories. Chocolate short stories. Chocolate stories. Chocolate short stories. It's time for chocolate short stories. Also, the write-a-thon. Hi, I'm Elissimo, and there is so much to discuss, and I'm gonna try and break it up as short as possible. This video is going to be chronicling two separate events, things, I don't know. The first, it's the World Wide Writeathon. What is the World Wide Writeathon? It's this amazing weekend that happens about 3 times a year where a huge chunk of AuthorTube gets together. We do anywhere from 24 hours to 36 hours to 48 hours of concurrent sprinting and chatting and a dance party, maybe, we'll see. And everybody just writes, and it's a really big, awesome, fun, productive weekend. I will be co-hosting on 2 other channels for 2 of the writing sprints, and I will be chronicling my mindset during the entire thing. And now, the other part, the part that the title is I am also chronicling my 5th chocolate short story. What are the chocolate short stories? I have a whole playlist that explains it, but if you don't really feel like going and checking out other videos, here's the quick spiel. I have this collection of chocolate bars from a company called Fortnum Mason, and each chocolate bar is designed to look like a little book. They have a cover, a title, and a prompt on the inside flap. I draw the kind of chocolate at random out of the bowl of fate, and then whatever that chocolate is, I have about a week to write a short story for it based on the cover, the title, and the inside prompt. However,
Number 3.
Sorry. Okay, one of the sprints just ended, sorry about that. But since this is the World Wide Writeathon, I'm going to be switching up my rules a little bit, and instead of giving myself an entire week to write this short story, I'm giving myself the write-a-thon to write this short story. I think it's doable because these short stories cannot be more than 500 words. So they're not even really short stories, they're more like flash fiction. But knowing me, I do need to factor in about at least 6 hours of self-doubt, self-criticism, and just general procrastination. Now, I'm debating when I actually want to bring out the bowl of fate. I will be streaming on Devasia/Grapefry's channel at midnight Eastern tonight. And I kind of like the idea of pulling my short story live on stream since this is a World Wide Write-a-thon themed video, which means I have about 4 or 5 hours before I actually have to start my write-a-thon. What am I gonna do in the meantime? I don't know, but I will also be in the comments of the streams having a good time and cheering on everybody who's participating in the write-a-thon this weekend. I don't know how to end it. How do I end the intro? I don't know, goodbye. So, okay, here we go. Oh, this one. Oh, I get nervous every single time. Okay, you guys get to see what it is before I do.
Last week can read that.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Chocolate something.
Ooh,
Praline.
Ooh, that sounds really
Milk
good.
chocolate filled with praline. Okay, so we're in the middle of a sprint right now on Devasia's channel. There have been some internet connectivity issues, but we're working through them. And I have pulled my story from the bowl of fate. The chocolate that I pulled was milk chocolate filled with praline. Praline is something I hear about all the time in my life. I know that my dad really loves praline. I don't know what praline is, so I'm gonna ask Siri. Hey Siri, what's praline?
Praline is a form of confection containing at a minimum culinary nuts, usually almonds and hazelnuts, and sugar cream is a common 3rd ingredient. Would you like to hear more?
No, thank you. Well, for starters, first of all, I'm extremely excited to try this, but secondly, I'm also extremely excited to read the prompt, because I think it's gonna be a fun one. Happy one, a cozy one, and that's really the vibe I wanted to go for this weekend anyway. So, without further ado, let's read the prompt. It says, the heartwarming story of an exceptionally generous French chocolatier who sells the finest pralines in Paris only to spend her profits on housing for local families in need. That's kind of cute. That's really cute. Here's the items on the to-do list. We're gonna eat the chocolate, review the chocolate, then we're gonna paint the nails to match the cover. Then I'm going to just spin the stream taking notes, brainstorming, and then on Steeg's channel at 6:30 a.m. my time, I will like officially start my write-a-thon where I will be writing the story. That is the plan as I see it now. So there you go. It smells so good. Also, I'm really hungry. I ate dinner about 6 hours ago, so let us try it now. What the hell? What am I tasting right now? I'm confusion. Okay, let me say right off the bat, it's good, it's unexpected. We like that word. We like the word unexpected. Wallace, remember unexpected, don't forget that. I was expecting there to be kind of a more liquidy substance in the middle when it said it was filled with praline. I don't know why I thought praline was kind of like caramel. Maybe it's more like a nougat. I really don't know. I've had a few of the Fortnum Mason milk chocolate bars in the past, milk chocolate filled with various things. And I've enjoyed them, but there's always been something missing, a flavor missing from the chocolate, and whatever this praline is in the middle, it accounts for that. It kind of fills up what was missing, and I love that phrase, and I don't know how I would apply it to a story, but I'm gonna try. I like this. I know for sure I'm gonna eat this entire thing. Well, maybe not before the story's done, because I'm trying to get the story done by Sunday, so let's hope I don't eat an entire chocolate bar by Sunday, but anything can happen in the write-a-thon.
How was the chocolate?
It was actually very good, but I'm slightly concerned that there's something in there that I'm allergic to because my ears started to itch, and I checked and it wasn't expired, so I'm really hoping I'm not allergic to hazelnuts because that would be really, really sad.
That is
It would be like a
nice.
perfect ending to the stream though, if you had to go like to the OR or something, to the emergency room.
Thanks, I'm glad you think that's the perfect ending to the stream.
Hi, it is approximately 12:15 in the morning. I have painted my nails, matching the vibe. I think I have too much white on most of my nails, but this one, I think gets it. I'm really, really tired. Just in case I don't vlog the end of this stream, good night. I will see you tomorrow when the real work begins.
Okay, and I am Grape Fry. Just a reminder, everyone, if you're doing the bingo, you can cross off technical difficulties and someone trying to talk while muted. Good night.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Good morning. It is entirely too early. I'm gonna wait. That's my second alarm that I set just in case I slept through my first one. I have already made myself a beveragino. The plan is to be productive this sprint. Not confident in that. However, in case in the next 15 minutes, my brain sort of wakes up after 4 hours of sleep, I have my writer's notebook. I have Maison Praline. Could I have said that any more pretentiously? And I have a pen. My big goal is to not let myself go back to bed once this stream is over. But I can literally see my bed right now, which is so rude, and it is calling to me. Just gotta really figure out how to hang up that phone call, or silence my phone at least. What? I just confused myself.
Good day / evening / morning / night, wherever you are, and welcome to sprint number 6 of the World Wide Writeathon. I am Steeg, and I have with me some of my absolute favorite people in the entire world. Oh God, I'm so glad to have you here.
First of all, I would like to say the human brain is amazing because we've been streaming for about 1 hour and 20 minutes now, and I do consider myself to be awake. Am I a little tired? Yes, but I am awake. The bed, thank God, has stopped calling me. What have I done so far 1 hour and 18 minutes into the stream? I have reread the prompt. I went on Instagram a little bit. I have titled my notes page and done a little doodle of a house. So it's been really productive. I think I'm gonna make myself a Pinterest board. I know, is that so stupid? Whatever, I don't care, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go on Pinterest. I'm gonna go on Pinterest and make myself a Maison Praline Pinterest board for the next 18 minutes because that's the length of the sprint. And then at some point today, I will attempt to write because I said I was gonna get this entire thing done within the course of the write-a-thon, and the write-a-thon has already been going for 12 hours. So, yay! We are currently sprinting. I am getting a little distracted by the dog timer. I have envisioned for this story, maybe our main protagonist is not the actual chocolatier, but two young orphan girls who have run away from their orphanage. And I like the idea of viewing the chocolatier through the lens of these two young girls' eyes and how eccentric she is and kind of interesting and fun. I don't have a structure or plot in mind at all. I'm just thinking of characters at the moment. But I would like to say though, I am very confused about this cover considering the prompt. The prompt is all about giving to charity and pralines and an eccentric Parisian chocolatier. And then though the cover, look at this one house. What's happening there? At first I thought it was just a searchlight, but is that house on fire? What's happening there? And I just know I'm gonna be sitting here editing the video and I'm gonna look at this and be like, oh, these are supposed to be something, and I'm gonna feel really stupid. And so I'm sitting here trying to see what it is and I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. It's just a whole bunch of houses and maybe one is on fire. What is this? What is this cover, Fortnum Mason? I'm sorry, every single vlog I criticize Fortnum Mason despite the fact that they have created these beautiful line of chocolates and lovely little story ideas and stuff. And really, it's not even Fortnum Mason's fault. It's my fault because I always figure out how I was wrong in the end. So I'm very confused.
Have a lovely rest of your write-a-thon, and I'll see you around. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows?
Bye.
Toodalooski.
Okay. Yes, I am back in my bed, but it is merely from a comfort standpoint. I had been sitting on the floor for 3 hours and my butt hurts. Huge news. Also horrible hair. I see what it is now. It's an icing bag. She's like piping out the actual village. These aren't real houses. These are little candy houses, and this is an icing bag. And I think this like swirling stuff is meant to be the praline, although I think we're gonna have to suspend our disbelief that you could be this precise with an icing bag, you know, because obviously you can't make a fully formed house with windows and tiled roofs and stuff that detailed while still piping it out, but I'm so excited. First things first, thinking about setting, I don't know why, but I was thinking about Paris in the wintertime. And in fact, there was a first sentence I was considering. I'm gonna write it down, but I'm not married to it specifically because I feel like it sets off too dark a tone initially. And I think we all know how I feel about dark tones, and I'm trying to be cozy. So, but I'm just gonna write it down just to have it. And I'm gonna write potential first sentence, PFS. There isn't always snow on the ground in January. Did I spell that right? Good. But the cold will still kill you. Yeah, that's like, that's really dark, especially because I envision our POV still deciding between first or third limited. I want it to be the older sister in a pair of young orphaned sisters. I think that's who I want to tell the story from, that perspective. The older sister is Odette. Let's actually, instead of doing names, let's just change just the characters, because I think we're going into it, and do it like this. Odette. Older sister, 12. Orphan, as mentioned before. Protective. Actually, do we want the older sister to be the protective one? Or do we want... That's interesting. I think I actually want the older sister to be the trusting one. Still in charge, though. And she's still going to be protective of her little sister, but I think it's going to be the little sister who's a lot more reserved and is creating what sort of conflict there will be in the story. I think will come from the younger sister's reservation. I think we're just having a cast of 3. So then we have Penelope, and then our third character, who I'm tentatively calling Evangeline. She will be the Parisian chocolatier who takes the orphans in one night. She's going to be, I think, in her 50s, 40s to 50s, maybe not easy to tell. Motherly, but eccentric. What exactly does that mean? I don't know yet. And you know what? This is so great. These are my first typed words of the write-a-thon, guys. 74 words. Woo! Claps for Wallissimo. Only took me like, I don't know, 7 sprints to get there. Oops. Really try to evoke and entice the senses with this story. I need to think of what makes her eccentric, Evangeline that is. Why is she this over-the-top, colorful character to these girls on this night? Why does Odette immediately trust her, and why is Penelope very nervous around her? Is there magic? That would be interesting if we could add in like a magic element where once they enter the kitchen, it's sort of this entrance into Evangeline's world and she is magic. And and that would explain why she's able to pipe out those perfect little Praline houses. Okay. So I think I have to decide if I want it to be overtly magical, like the pots are literally stirring themselves, or more subtly magical, like you bite into a piece of chocolate and suddenly the chill disappears from their bones and the wind burn on their cheeks stops hurting. Odette watches Evangeline pipe out these little houses and she looks away for a second and then looks back, and suddenly they're perfectly sculpted and have all the little tiles and details, and you know, her imagination is just running wild with what exactly Evangeline is able to do with all of her chocolate. I kind of like that. I think that is maybe the eccentric thing I was looking for, and I love that. I was like, oh, I need her to be eccentric, and instead of actually just making her eccentric, I'm like, she'll just be magical. That works for me. Oh, I could kind of go with a dark twist of that would be really dark, of like Evangeline notices that Penelope is super hesitant, and so she gives her a chocolate that makes her change her mind, but Odette doesn't really notice and she doesn't realize because she's so desperate to go with Evangeline because Evangeline is so fabulous. But that's my thing, is I don't want to go dark. The whole point of this was to be heartwarming and cozy. But I kind of like that there's that, why did I sound Scottish? That there's that subtlety. No, I like that there's that subtlety there of, you could make the argument that that is what has happened. But anybody who watches this video will know that that is what I am hinting has happened. So sorry about that. Evangeline gives them both plates, but Penelope has an extra bonbon on hers, which she does eat. after some coaxing. And fairly soon after eating, does agree to stay the night. Very happy. So, okay, I want to indicate though that even though she's using magic to change Penelope's mind, I don't want it, well, I mean, you can interpret the story however you want. I think there will be a few different ways to interpret the story. Either this is more nefarious than we have realized because we are seeing it through Odette's eyes and she is so desperate for help. However, the prompt does explicitly state that Evangeline is very generous and she loves to provide housing, and you could argue that she is just kind of doing that adult thing where you sort of lie to a kid in order to get the kid to do what is best for that kid, you know, because at the end of the day, the alternative, if Penelope really does refuse to go with them to the shelter and she goes back out, and Odette would follow her sister, even though she really wants to stay with Evangeline, both the girls would die because it is so cold outside. So there are multiple ways to interpret it, and we'll see which way I kind of lean into as the story grows. And I think the sprint is probably going to end soon. Actually, I'm really surprised it hasn't ended already. So I'll check back in a bit. Okay. It's now about 4 o'clock. I am back working and joining sprint number 9 over on Julie Pages and Pens channel. And now I'm going to start and actually try and draft. And I'm going to try and be cognizant about word count, but I also want to just write the story and see how long it takes me. But with the idea in the back of my mind that I should be brief, but also don't want it to feel rushed. So we're just going to see if I'm able to capture this whole thing in 500 words or less. And if not, then we'll just do a breakfast in Bogota and double the amount. But I really think... I don't actually know. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. That's my prediction. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. But if I can do it, wouldn't that be nice? All right, Sarah has started a half-hour sprint roughly. I'm very confident that someone's not muted. Sorry, that alarmed me for a second. Oh God, wow. It's disembodied laughter is very creepy. Hold on, let me mute the computer because that was really scary. Because it kind of sounded like whoever that was reacting to what I was saying, and I don't know, that creeped me out. So we're at 164 words. I only have now just entered the Maison Praline, which is why I'm thinking I'm gonna really have to be careful about how I structure this so that I hit that 500, because it is a rule, and yet at the same time, both Lavender, A Girl in the Wild, and Breakfast in Bogota were both way over 500, so maybe that rule is more like a guideline, The writing is going well, and dinner was delicious, but we're gonna take a pause because it's time for the dance party.
It's good choices.
This might be on one of my writing playlists now.
Listen, I added it to my playlist. This is one I listened to all the way through, and I was like, oh, okay, hold on, wait a minute.
Well, I was attending the dance party, but we have storms rolling in, and it is thundering and lightning, and our power went off for about 10 seconds, and it's back on now, but the internet is out. So I'm going to take that as a sign from the universe to step away from the computer for a little while. I'm going to go outside, watch the storms roll in, enjoy the evening, and maybe return later once the sprints start up again. Okay. It's so funny. It looks lovely, and then not so lovely, and then kind of lovely, and then really, really, really not lovely. Oh, you just want me to throw it, huh? Okay. Ready? Can you sit? Good girl. Sit pretty. Good girl. Good girl. It's still pretty quiet. I don't know if you can hear, but there is lightning crackling. I might go inside.
Don't ever do that again.
You sound like Dobby.
Sorry, I had to let them say their piece. It is sprint 11. I'm not showing myself because I look how you would expect after 11 of these. My goal for sprint 11 is the same goal I had for whatever it was, sprint 9 or sprint 10, I can't remember. And it's to just finish a freaking first draft. That's all I want. That's all I want. Ooh, did you hear that thunder? Ooh, the power is going in and out, so we'll see if I lose internet. Not that that would affect the filming of this very enticing, extremely interesting video. This is like such a terrible sentence, so we're just gonna highlight it and we're gonna put definitely rethink, and that'll be a good little reminder to definitely rethink. Ooh, we love a good passive voice. Don't worry, Katie will catch that and she'll fix it. And yes, I have noticed it now, but as far as I'm concerned, that's Katie's problem. With a slender finger. Is that? No, I don't like that. That's a creepy imagery. I gotta go in and we need to show that Penelope is very hesitant, and we have to show Odette's wonder at the kitchen and the magic, the corner of the eye magic. Ooh, I kind of like that phrase. I'm just gonna write that down. Corner of the eye magic. The idea of like things that happen in your periphery that might be magical, but if you look at them close, they might be. What the? That was extremely unpleasant.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god. I would just like to congratulate myself because I have written already 546 words in the short story, and I'm not even a third of the way through. So we're doing really great. I am going to be nice to myself and say I can stop working. I mean, it's 11:30, so I'm going to stop working soon. And by soon, I meant immediately. I have carried on the tradition of not brushing my hair on the final day of the write-a-thon, and I'm telling myself that it's me carrying on a tradition and not just me being too lazy to brush my hair.
I mean, there really should be. I think we've got something here. I'm here for this mug. I still never watched.
So, muting the stream really quickly just to say it is Sprint Team 16. We are getting so close to the end of the write-a-thon, which I'm trying not to think about. But I'm gonna do one run through and just see. Oop, just got a message. Just see how much I can cut it down. As you can see, I'm sure I have 1430, which means I have almost 1,000 words too many. So the story is currently at 1430. My goal is to get it down to 1,000. Because here's the thing. Yes, technically the Fortnum Mason website says that these stories need to be 500 words, but that's for their contest, and I'm not submitting this to their contest, and I get to make up my own rules. And I know it's good to have structure, and in general, 500 words is a structure, but again, I might have already said this in a strange Scottish accent earlier. But I feel like my rules are more like guidelines, you know?
We need
We
that.
should sprint.
We need to sprint.
Yes.
Less than 2 minutes until the final sprint. I've changed location just because my room was getting a little post-write-a-thon crazy, and I was getting a little stressed out by that mess. So we've come to the living room to just enjoy the final sprint. I have sent Maison Praline to Katie and we'll get her thoughts, but I don't see it changing a whole bunch, even though once again. Surprise, surprise, it's not very good. Actually, no, I take that back. I think it is cute. I think I did an okay job describing the sights, smells, and sounds of Maison Praline. I obviously just didn't follow the rules because it's gonna be basically over 1,000 words when it's only meant to be 500. But I actually don't think it's terrible. I think it's fine. It's fine. Wouldn't it be funny if this is the one Katie is like, you know, babe, I love you, but I'm really not feeling this one. I think maybe the reason I'm not so mortified by this one is because I'm not trying to say anything terribly deep. I set off with a goal of creating some sort of vibe, and only a vibe, and that vibe is enchanting and yet slightly unsettling, and I think I semi-achieved it, but we'll see. That is not really for me to judge, that's for the reader to judge. But yeah, the next sprint is gonna start any minute, any second really. So I'm gonna enjoy that. My hair is still not brushed, as is tradition, by the way.
Thank you all for joining us in this chat and also for this weekend. It was wonderful. It was lovely. I had a great time. Okay, bye.
And that marks the end of the World Wide Writeathon for June at least, and my writing journey for Maison Praline. If you are interested in ever being a host or co-host or just generally participating in the World Wide Writeathon, you should go follow Jessica Williamson because she's the main organizer of the event. I highly encourage it. It's a great way to interact with people in AuthorTube and just have a good time. A huge, huge thank you as always to Jessica Williamson and Samantha Nassett for setting everything up and being amazing. It really is such a huge undertaking and AuthorTube is all the better for it, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Now for my final thoughts on Maison Praline. The two ways I described the chocolate was unexpected and filled up something that had been missing before, I think, and I'm not totally sure I was able to integrate those into the story. I guess you could argue that the twist into the uncanny with Evangeline and everything becomes unexpected, but at the same time, it's two children walking into a house made of sugar. And I just feel like doing a Hansel and Gretel kind of twist is extremely expected. So there's that. I did want to take a moment and just give my overall thoughts on interpretation of the story. I just want to talk it out. I can't help but notice that every single short story I've written up until now has basically just been the beginning of what could be a bigger story, except for Lavender, because that was like a children's book, and so that kind of had a complete beginning, middle, and end. But I'm pretty sure that's not how you're supposed to do short stories. Since this is my video and I can do whatever I want to talk about what I would do if I were to expand on Maison Praline, as in actually go from writing a short story to writing an entire book for it. And again, let me just say that since none of this is written down, none of it is canon, and any interpretation of the short story is completely valid for each individual reader. My vision for an expanded Maison Praline would be a middle grade book that is Coraline meets Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, where the two girls go into the shelter and they meet lots of other interesting kids who all are dealing with their own stuff. A lot of strange and mysterious things happen, and it does come to light that the Evangeline that we meet in this story is not the actual Evangeline that is known throughout Paris for being the best praline maker in the world and also extremely philanthropic, and that this Evangeline is an imposter, and there's magic involved obviously, and so all the kids of the orphanage kind of band together to go on a treasure hunt and find the real Evangeline, and there's an epic showdown and face-off with the imposter Evangeline, and all through the course of the story as they go on this adventure, etc., Odette and Penelope would be processing their grief over the disappearance/death of their mother, and ultimately it would end happily with the real Evangeline being reinstated and, I don't know, maybe some big feast where they eat just a ton of chocolate and candy. And I feel like the reason I want that to be my interpretation of how the story would go beyond the scope of the 1,300 words I wrote is because I really feel like I failed to actually address the prompt. I think I took the spirit of the prompt and ran it through a blender and then just wrote whatever the hell I wanted to write. In order to fix that, I would have to just acknowledge that what I have written is not the whole story. If you do end up reading the story and you have your own idea for what the next 1,000 to 10,000 words would be, let me know down in the comments because I'd love to discuss. And on that note, I think it's officially time to wrap this up. The story is too long to put in the description, so I will have it over on my Instagram. And I'm also gonna try and post the text at the end of this video. If this specific clip has been left in, that means the story is at the end of this video. So pause and read if you feel like it. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching my combined chocolate short story and write-a-thon vlog. Again, if you're interested in attending the write-a-thon in October, please do. It is so much fun. And if you're interested in my general chocolate short story chaos, come back next week because theoretically there will be another one. Until then, go be happy, go be healthy, and go write. Bye.